Traveler and Paimon, you're right on cue. Right on cue for what? For a commission that's suited for you. I was just about to reach out to you. A commission that's suited for us? Don't tell Paimon that you want us to look for things or drive hilly trails off. Or to pick some garbage off the rooftops. Don't misunderstand, the commission is indeed suited for you. By suited, I mean, it's fun and there are rich rewards to be had as well. Rich rewards? Being fun is also important. So what is this commission about? The requester is a toy merchant from Fontaine. His name is Bertrand. Came to sell toys and Inazuma is currently looking for an assistant to help him with toy making. He's a businessman after all. Explains why he promised some very generous rewards when he put up the request at the Adventurers Guild. But he somehow can't leave Rito at the moment. Please go and ask him about the details of the commission. Sure, we'll head to Rito and look for him right away. I now have everything ready. I'll sell each toy for thousands or more, and with tens of thousands of them sold, I can easily earn tens of millions. Hello, are you Bertrand? Yes, I am. Are you two toy buyers who caught wind of my business? But it's a shame that I can't sell you any toys yet because I haven't started mass production. But no worries, the production line is being built as of now. You can register and make a deposit if you're interested. I'll inform you when the toys are ready, and then you can proceed to pay the balance. Hold your horses, we're not here to buy your toys. Oh, you aren't toy buyers. So if you've got something to say, tell me quick. Don't waste my time. And be concise, my time is precious. Whoa, what a change of attitude. Let's make toys together. Ah, so you're the assistant sent by the Adventurers Guild. Welcome. You could have told me earlier. Yes, I did put up that request. How should I address you two? Paimon is, Paimon. Then how about you? I'm the Traveler. I think I've heard this name somewhere. Were you once a wanted criminal? Sure. That's a long story. I was once arrested by the Tenryou Commission due to a small incident. What on earth did you do to get yourself arrested by the Tenryou Commission? It was not a big deal. I just missed something when I made the last batch of toys. Really was a small mistake. Not a big deal. Those toys would explode if you triggered something inside them, that's all. Explode? It's really no biggie. No one got hurt. But the Doshin from the Tenryou Commission still confiscated my toys. A second thought. The way I see it, those toys could still be sold as lovely-looking bombs. When I first arrived, I borrowed some Mora from the International Trade Association to start my business. Who'd have thought that I would end up being confined in Rito, not allowed to enter other areas of Inazuma? You obviously had this coming. Hang on, since you owe the International Trade Association money, how do you plan to pay us? You can rest assured I haven't spent all my money, and I can clear my debt once I'm able to produce toys again, and get them sold. Then I can give you the rich rewards as promises. Is this really gonna work? I have some confidence in Inazuma's toy market. My toys were very popular before people realized that they could explode, and you know what? They actually got even more popular after that. Anyways, if my plan still fails in the end, I'll pay off my debt by giving all the toys to Karisu. Please lend me a hand. But what do you want us to help with? Well, all my toys are produced by this machine that I built. It's called one-of-a-kind, never-failing, engineer-grade, second-generation furnace-powered machine. Speaking of my one-of-a-kind, never-failing, engineer-grade, second-generation furnace-powered machine... Sure. Yep, let Paimon think about it. Let's call it the Great Machine. Wait a sec, this name is too short. It doesn't sound impressive at all. Sometimes the shorter it is, the easier it is to remember. The Great Machine, Paimon thinks that it rolls off the tongue very well. Okay, I've indeed been told that I've had bad taste in names. I'll take your word for it just this once. Hey! Anyways, my Great Machine can automatically analyze the materials added into it, and then choose the most appropriate method to assemble them. But last time I added some strange mechanics that caused the toys to explode, so this time I've reflected on the mistake and rebuilt the machine. Theoretically speaking, it should be fine. Theoretically speaking? That's why I need people to test it. And all the collection process involves 3 steps: source material, elemental charge, and core activation. We need to collect things like ores, fruits, and flowers as the base materials. Next, we infuse the materials with elemental energy to allow the process to move forward, and finally power the materials with the energy drawn from the cores of elemental life forms. Today, let's try the first step: source material collection. Here, take this material collector. Remember to directly put anything you collect into the collector, lest it be contaminated by other elements. Thanks. Let me adjust the device one last time. I'm counting on you to collect the materials. How's it going? Have you collected any materials? Yep. All collectors. Fruit. Yep. Alright then. Let me add the materials to my one-of-a-kind, never-failing... It's the Great Machine. Fine, let me add the materials to the Great Machine. Wow, and what's next? Will the machine go chug chug chug, and then spill out the toys with crackle and kaboom? How does fruit make a toy? Ha ha ha, that is totally impossible. What are you thinking? That's only the first step of the 3 process. We're far from getting things done. Paimon gets it. So we need to complete all the processes, huh? Yep, we need all 3 processes in order to produce the toys. This sucks. Look at you, always wanting a quick fix. It takes patience to make toys. We must infuse every process with. With what? Oh, Paimon gets it. It's toys we're making, after all. So we must infuse every process with real passion. Yep, my passion for Mora. Although, that's not what Paimon was thinking. Paimon does share the sentiment. Paimon was just trying to make a conversation. Then Bertrand, what do we do next? Should we move on to the following processes? No worries. Since I've recently adjusted the machine and this particular process hasn't been tested yet, I need to check if it works well with the materials. This requires some time. Please come back later. Bertrand! Ah, Traveler and Paimon. Splendiferous timing. My one and only Great Machine has finished processing the materials you collected. Great. Well, come now. This is a machine that I created. Of course there were no issues at all. My techniques were, after all, forged in the fires of Fontaine. And of course, none know the operation and workings of such devices better than we, the people of Fontaine. I blame the previous explosive nature of the product on rushed preparation and a lack of helping hands to help hoover up the necessary materials. Things will be different this time. So you say. If it still explodes, well then my final deposit and the rest of my life will go up in smoke too. So even if you don't believe in me, you can have faith in my resolution to put my life on the line for this. You know, Paimon never thought that this toy-making thingamajig was supposed to require that much resolve. Well, regardless, we need to begin on the next step of our work. For safety's sake, let me just ask you this first. Of the 3 processes, the one we have completed is source material collection. Now then, is the next step core collection or charge collection? Charge collection. Well, it would seem so, but in truth the answer isn't charge collection, but rather elemental charge. Didn't expect me to give you 2 wrong options, huh? Shut up. This guy's laughter is pretty annoying. Well, all in all, this elemental charge is essentially performed by being affected by the elements while carrying the material collector. For example, I could stand in a river while carrying the collector to collect hydro if I wanted to collect electro. You'd need to be stuck... You need to be struck by lightning? Well, you know, you are adventurers. I believe that you have an adventurer's constitution. What kind of constitution do you think this is? To be honest, coming into contact with elemental life forms is probably our best bet. During my previous travels in Inazuma, I marked out 3 different locations frequented by elemental beings. I'd actually wanted to sneak over there by boat and make contact with those creatures myself if no help came. That's way too risky. Well, now that you're here, why don't you go and try your luck in those places? Yes, indeed. I believe I shall leave this to you. How are things going with the material collector? Operations are smooth, I trust? Sure. The collector, too, is my pride and joy. Whether it be the collection of source materials, as we did before, or the storage of elemental energies, as it presently does, it can do them all. To tell the truth, I've been having some thoughts about changing the material collector's name. Paimon thinks it's fine the way it is. Yeah. Really? I thought that it might be understating the device's capabilities a little, honestly. Well, whatever the case, pass me the material collector, just as before. The trial production run will require some observation, especially with regard to the use of elemental energy. We'll most likely be able to proceed only after the elemental reactions within the great machine stabilize. Well, I'll be counting on you once that happens. Phew. Wow, that was close. So close, yes, very close indeed. Bertrand, are you alright? You're sweating all over, and you look like you might collapse at any moment. I look like I might collapse, huh? Nay, I've already done so. Yes, indeed. Almost. But thanks to some emergency adjustments performed, triple quick time by yours truly, the process stabilized. The elements are beginning to slowly fuse with the source materials we collected as we speak. Indeed, that was a really close shave. If I haven't been able to control the elemental energy, I'd probably be competing with the Nohara family's fireworks for the highest record altitude right now. So it's going to explode. I said that the toys wouldn't explode. I never guaranteed that the machine that makes them would be similarly stable. But honestly, it's thanks to your help in this experiment that we even got this far. If I had tried doing this in one go from the start, I don't think there'd be anything left of the great machine, never mind there being any toys. Alright then, this is the final step, also known as core activation. Paimon remembers you mentioned this had to do with elemental creatures, right? Precisely. Elemental life forms are constantly being powered by the elements collecting this motive force, and adding it to our machine is the final step. If I can make the toys, then I can keep making them. Then I can pay off my debt, earn a good sum, and live out my days in Unizum in peace. Not going back to Fontaine? Fontaine. Ah, Fontaine. Traveler, Paimon, you have never been to Fontaine, I suppose. If you had, you would know. For some people, it is a most convenient place to live, but for others, it is not but a place of grief and disappointment. The energy system there is very special, and no one knows how long it can be sustained. Thus, we must find alternative energy solutions before it all comes crashing down. And yet, change is even harder than we can imagine. The result of all this being that I must now research alternative energy alone and away from Fontaine. The Great Machine, too, is a product of that research, which is why it remains somewhat unstable and at risk of exploding if not handled with the utmost care. But someday, I will find a good energy solution. And then I shall return to Fontaine. Bertrand. Well, let's not talk about such things now. On to our final process. My standard of living in Inazuma before I can return to Fontaine depends on you, traveler. In any case, that's all our processes completed. How about this, traveler? How would you like to be the one to place the material collector upon the machine? I have no idea what's going to be made. Oh, the expectation. Wait, you don't know what sort of toy will come out? Why, that's the fun of the Great Machine. It responds to and processes differently. What you brought shall determine what gets made. So now then, give it a go. This is a toy? Redemption voucher? Is this really a toy made by a machine from Fontaine? Ah, but you see, making goods only in Fontaine's image is in no way of guaranteeing mercantile success. To tell the truth, this production process does include my various gleanings from study local popular culture. After all, you must win the people's hearts to earn your welcome. Will this stuff really be popular, though? Now, I am sure that there might be some early misunderstandings, but so long as we preserve and continue to improve on our work, I'm sure that they will someday be moved. Whatever the case may be, we have completed this first production cycle. How did you find it? Fascinating? No. No, not really. Alright, I see. So this is what we can produce using these material ratios. Well, in that case, I shall keep this in storage, and also this voucher is for you. As for this voucher, you can use it to redeem a robot with the same design as this one for free. If you like this model, then you need only redeem it using this voucher. Well, once we have established a stable production flow, of course. This is our first robotic toy, after all, so there are still some examinations to be done. We can't be producing exploding gadgets all the time now, can we? And now, let's read the record of issues caused during the test run. It seems that we must make some adjustments to improve our efficiency. You're actually pretty serious about all this, aren't you? Of course I am. As a person living alone in a faraway land, this machine and my creativity are all that sustain me. I mean, the Doshin who arrested me previously called these bizarre tricks. Well, I'll teach him to look down on these tricks. In any case, I must make some adjustments, first such that I'll be able to begin mass production shortly. Do come and lend me your aid when that time comes as well, alright, traveler? Traveler and Paimon, you've arrived. My toy factory shall soon be open. Toy factory? Well, I mean, it's just me and my great machine at the moment. So I streamlined the machine's processes. Now, production should take a lot less time. Of course, we're not talking about instantaneous levels of speed, but I would at least rate it at rapid. Wow, that sounds impressive. Speaking of which, I made some improvements to the material collector as well. Previously, you'd need to come back here after each process. I thought that was inefficient, so I made some adjustments, and now it updates the current process based on your collection progress. So it changes the process? Based on what we've collected? How should I put this? Let's say that the first process requires 10 Sensietas, the second needs Hydro, and the third will see you defeating 2 Hydro Slimes. And let's say that now you've collected 10 Sensietas with the material collector equipped. Well, in that case, it will consider the materials for the first process collected in full. And then it will... and then it will automatically start the process of collecting materials for the next stage. Bingo. It will enter elemental charge mode, which will let it collect hydro energy, and once it finishes collecting hydro, it will change processes again. Yep, and all you will have to do once that happens is to defeat 2 hydro slimes. That does sound a lot more convenient. Tell me about it. I pulled an all-nighter to improve it, you know. I personally call it the ultimate foolproof 3-in-1. This material collector is truly amazing. Why would you give this material collector to us, though? I'm temporarily grounded in Rito, so I can't collect materials at the moment. Come on, help me out here. You can have a bit of the Mora from selling toys and one of the toys for free. Remember the ticket you got? Well, it can get you 1 free redemption. Well, as long as you've already created that particular toy model, of course. Excuse me? You mean with all the materials we collected and all the effort we put in, we only deserve a bit of the Mora and 1 toy? That's preposterous. Let's get out of here, traveler. Wait, how about a bigger share of the profits? And 2, maybe 3 toys. 4. You can have 4. But come on, that's as far as I can go. You could have all of them, really, if only I wasn't in debt. Sadly, I still owe the International Trade Association a sum of Mora. Listen, we chose to help because you needed help, not for the Mora or toys. And your aid is most appreciated. A relief, finally.